Hunter, just hang up, dude. You don't need this shit,
Hunter, you good?
You're trying to cater the new fan as well, but also we have a lot of hardcore fans that tune in every week.
How do you pick the perfect line? How do you pick the perfect way to go?
That's a very difficult question. A lot of it is, and that's one thing I think that makes Jett very special. I think he sees the track in a different way.
How was the setup?
It was great. Honestly, I was really happy with it.
It's so important for these guys trying to win the title to stay level-headed, but I like to see people being themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever they found with KTM, it allows him to go faster at lesser effort.
Yeah.
He's probably going to tone it down a little bit as he kind of earns his stripes in the 450 class, but once he gets to that level where he knows he can go out there and win, we're going to see.
It's going to be a different story.
But it's going to be great.
It's going to be good racing and a lot of talking. I think we're going to have a good summer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another episode of the Jaxxon Sports Podcast. I'm sitting here with the greatest co-host of all time, a freestyle extraordinaire.
Checking my teeth out.
The man, the myth, the legend, a grandfather, and someone who, even in his late to early mid-50s, can still pull off one of the trendiest, raddest looks in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Twitch Stenberg! Very good.
Thanks,
Very
man.
good.
Really appreciate you guys.
And we got the one and only Mr. Apple Music himself, Tyler Bierman!
Apple Music. It's crazy.
And we have the voice of Supercross, the one and only, the golden mic with the golden tongue with an inside expert analysis that we don't get from any other analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam! Wow. I would say your last name, but I'd butcher it.
Yeah, Cianciarulo.
Cianciarulo.
Yeah, that one. Hey, that was a great lead-in right there. I mean, I'm hyped up. Right
No,
now.
we're here.
Yeah.
And you look like you got a nice little base coat today.
Oh, dude, this is 15 minutes in the sun.
Yeah.
That's it. I was SPF 75 on the face.
Now he's ready for
the
summer.
neck. Yeah.
I will say though, your intro to him being the golden boy, like, there's not really a claim to fame for that, but I will say we talked about it offline. It's been really fucking awesome watching race day live with you and JB.
Yeah,
man. It's
thank
like
you, dude.
being a rider and like listening to you guys and like you guys being able to like explain it to like the people that don't maybe watch Supercross all the time. It's really cool.
And
So,
what's rad too is
respect.
like getting your guys' point of view, because you've raced all these stadiums, you've ridden all the dirt that you're talking about. So I feel like for me, Race Day Live makes it so much cooler when you guys are talking about it because you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's cool doing it like I told you. It's cool doing it with JB too, because we both are genuine fans of the sport still, and you can feel that. To work with somebody that has that energy makes the job way more fun. And yeah, I always try to look at it like you're adding context to the main show, right? Like I want people to feel like if they don't tune into Race Day Live, they're going to be missing out on something. They're not going to know what to look for.
Well, I feel like being like, if there's a new fan coming into the sport and they watch Race Day Live, they get a full understanding of what's going on, track breakdown, like everything. It's like you guys do a really good job explaining everything.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because you're trying to cater the new fan as well, but also we have a lot of hardcore fans that tune in every week. I mean, that's the majority of our audience. So
Especially
it's
Race
like
Day Live.
you're trying to toe that line between
That medium.
Hey, if someone's a casual fan and if I'm super geeking out on, oh, look at Justin Cooper's front end in this turn and that turn, I could get a little bit too far out in left
where
field
people
for
or
them.
newer fans don't understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So you're always riding that line a little bit. It's fun though. It's stimulating for me.
That's Twitch. That's what a lot of people, we get a lot of feedback now that this podcast is kind of developing on its own. We started it probably a year ago.
Yeah,
about
I
a year
see you
ago.
guys.
Yeah,
I see
and
it.
it's-
I've done it before.
Yeah, you did one of the first episodes in that room.
Yep.
In the old studio room.
Yep.
And now that it's like kind of developed, obviously I'm a huge fan of Supercross now.
The heart is there, just not the talent.
Yeah, like
It's like us on the golf course.
Yeah, exactly.
All of us.
The heart's there, just not the talent.
honestly, like that's cool if that's what you think. But like that's not the case.
We
for
got
me.
the pudgy paintballer over here calling us out.
It's unique.
Wow, you
it's
guys are
unique
brutal.
because as 4% body fat with 6-pack and obviously trying to get Uncle Twitch in the same state of mind as what he thinks he is. After my Akatia adventures, I feel like I'm a different man ever since I really got to open it up a little bit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
hear
He
why.
got out
Oh
of
yeah, you
first
burn
gear.
blasted?
No, I was. I don't want to make this about me, but yes, there's new speed.
Hey.
There's a new speed to my level, which I believe is like Jett Lawrence level. But that's fine.
It doesn't surprise me because what I saw on the golf course today from you,
Swing
club head speed.
Unreal.
Hey, I'm not one scared to be, going fast. I just want to put that out there.
All upper body.
Imagine if he used his lower half.
Funny.
Imagine, dude. He'd be a long drive
from
guy.
The guy who has incredible calves. Look at that thing.
Wow. Yeah, but
play with my name.
Calf implants don't count around here, dude.
You see,
I'm out of here.
Listen, we just spent about 4 hours on the golf course. It was myself, Tyler, Twitch, Adam, Jett Lawrence, who's got the boot on, who's making an incredible recovery. And it's good to see you out there. It's good to see that you really dress the part, whether you're on the track, whether on the course, you have an outfit for everything. I love you when you're suit ready to go on race day. And I love it when you were racing. And I love seeing you on the golf course.
Well, that's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts about the role I'm in now with Supercross is I love getting in a suit. Doing I do the pre and post race shows. Sometimes I'll interview the guys after. I love Hunter the post race. In Arlington. Cool. That was cool. I love suiting up. Yeah. Because as a dirt bike racer, I mean, I didn't know I don't know style.
You just wear whatever they bring you for the weekend. Yeah.
They've been calling you the James Bond of Temecula in the form.
So that's what they say? Yeah,
they said your style is unmatched.
Yeah, that fits.
They were going to give it to Ricky, but they were calling him a H&M suit wearer. I didn't understand it until I later on went back.
Shout out to my lady. Shout out to my lady Ashley. She's big in the fashion industry.
She's the one dressing you.
Oh, you're always fitted. You're always fitted.
Yeah,
well, ever since he started dating her, now he looks like a good, nice gentleman, right, dude? You know?
Yeah. Hey, well, I had to.
Let's be real. He always did. Like being Fox.
Tyler, come on.
No, I'm going to give him his
maybe
flowers.
on the track.
You got some brown shit on your nose.
Hey, Tyler, you're already here, dog. Jesus, dog.
Smells like shit.
No wonder he wanted to sit
on some chapstick on, dude. Their shit's getting dry.
Listen, man, he's wearing a Whoop. He's got his game together. I understand. He's coming correct.
I saw him on the course today, and he wore Fox growing up. Fox is like iconic for that.
It is.
Yeah, they have some of the best
on
gear.
The track.
Honestly, you play good golf too.
I don't know about it. Was I hadn't played in 6 weeks, so I was. You know how that works. When you don't play for a while, you go out there. You always have a great round.
Like crap.
Now, if I go play tomorrow, we were content with the 83 today.
You shot 83.
We were 83.
That's good. I was at 74. It's good to know that I still have players around me.
I mean, we're not all you.
I didn't know that. I was not familiar with your game until I watched you in the Jett Lawrence golf video, and Sheckler did a video.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I go, damn, Adam's got some style. It's one thing that I really wanted to bring up on this pod is that for me, really like diving deep into the moto world strictly because of Twitch, now the Lawrence brothers and Bierman in the pod. It's good to see people like yourself who can kind of expose the sport in a different way. Like you're very friendly. You have like a different tone to you when you're kind of announcing and analyzing the racers. And that's something like I wanted to jump into with Indianapolis. Like we see Hunter with a big win. We saw a lot of stuff going in 250. Let's kind of like break down what you saw from your eyes at this event.
Well, Triple Crown in Indianapolis, for me, already going in, I mean, Triple Crowns are crazy. And I think a lot of the riders, from my standpoint, I love it. It's entertaining. I think as a fan, it's entertaining. As a rider, doing 3 starts on a Supercross
more
track,
stressful.
It's so stressful.
Especially Indy, of all places. Like with that dirt, to be going out there that many times, like it's pretty sketchy,
and
dude.
they know how bad it breaks down right off the bat. Like you raced it. I actually got to race it in 2016 one time, and it's probably one of the scariest.
Was that
tracks.
on the East Coast is Toast tour?
East Coast is Toast tour.
Him and Darren Durham?
Yeah. And
Double
Indy
D.
Supercross on like, just privateer, basically stock Cowie with some suspension. It was scary in those ruts. Like people don't quite understand of like, the whole lapper situation and all this is like, it's a big talking point right now. But I will say staying in a straight line when you're landing in ruts and taking off in ruts and like tripling over sections, it's like, man, it's so tough. And to see a Triple Crown on a track like that, knowing that it breaks down basically on lap 1 was kind of crazy. And, glad everyone was mostly safe for the most part, And
it was a short lap time.
Yeah.
It was
45, 46 second lap time.
Yeah.
So when we went to, 2018, we went from doing 20 laps to 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
And I think it was a perfect storm. I think lappers were probably already going to be an issue regardless with the short lap time. But then you throw in Indianapolis conditions. Mm-hmm. When it looks gnarly on TV.
Yeah.
If you go down there and watch it, I always make a point to go down there on the floor and look at the track after the race, and it is insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. And what the guys are able to do, like what Tomac and Hunter, what they're able to do at the end of the race right now
is unbelievable.
It's insane. Like Hunter's fastest lap time in Daytona was on the last lap. I'm like, there's no way that can be real.
When the track is at its worst
There's no
condition.
way. Yeah. There's no way. But I think there's an art to being able to adapt to the track, but also setting your bike up for the end of the race.
100%.
And I think every champion, Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, any of them, knew how to set their bike up for the end, like the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's where the money is made.
Seemed
if you're
like
not
for
getting
everyone
the
got
last
quicker
5,
too,
100%.
but it was also getting sketchy, getting into lappers, and then like I see all this drama, like everyone's getting mad at the lappers. I'm like, I get it, but those dudes are still racing
Yeah, they
their
are.
race, and like sometimes you don't see a flag. You know what I mean? Like you're so you're like, I got to get in this rut for this section. Like I got to make sure I'm in the right lane for the whoops right now. Like so, it's like I've heard people been like, oh, there should be no privateers, but I'm like, that's how you get into the sport. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So it's like, I think like there was a lot of pissed off riders this last weekend because of that with the short lap times. But I'm like, what's the situation? Like, how do you fix that? You know? And Bierman had like a good point. We were talking about it earlier today, and he was like, dude, I think if you get lapped, you should get a black flag.
I don't know. I really don't know what the right or wrong is, but I do think that it's fair in a situation like that. When the track's that gnarly, if you're gonna be a lap down, like that basically stops your race, and then you get credited with that position. And then I don't know if that's the right or the wrong, but it's just something that it's like
everyone's gonna have a different point of view.
Yeah,
on this.
and to be honest with you, like racing for the positions that they are, like I get it. It's every cent counts, right?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like that's a whole nother point. But like these guys risking their lives, we already don't really get paid enough.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. You know,
for the audience, though, let's break it down. What the big drama is on the internet right now? It's I believe Gypsy Tales went off on a tangent, and then it started recirculating that privateers shouldn't be racing. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, and
then
I think
it
a lot of
started
people
going-
like changed what he said too, and made it worse than what it
Yeah,
was. You know, like
definitely.
it got blown out of proportion.
Because
I
when
saw
you-
him yesterday. Too,
He was just
so-
trying to get a point across. You know,
When you look at like sports like F1, right? Like on an F1 weekend, they have Formula E, Formula 3, Formula 2, and then F1, like over the weekend, right? That like there can be a scenario in a perfect world that it does get to that, but at the same time, privateers are like what also is like the heart and soul of the sport.
Yeah.
And there's also the privateers that'll come out and like be close to podium or land on
and
the
be
podium.
really good.
And it's like such a double-edged sword. I understand of like trying to like get it along the lines of in front of more eyes in F1 and all that. I don't really know the right scenario or answer to it.
Yeah.
Like it's such a double-edged sword.
I think if you go no privateers at all, you are going to lose out on some cool stories.
For sure.
Like over the course of a
100%.
10 or 15 year period, there'll probably be 4 or 5 guys that you'll never hear that would have worked their way through. It doesn't happen a lot, but I think that there's value there for sure. But to me, like this weekend, and I like Vince Friese off the track. He's always on my plane. We always talk about golf. Like he's a good dude.
He's a good
but
dude.
it's the same. It's always like Vince, Moran's. There's always the same 3 or 4 guys that really get in the way. And I saw a clip. We were breaking it down on our podcast on Monday. I saw a clip where Tomac was blue flags everywhere. Tomac's behind Vince. They go by the mechanics area, and like all Vince had to do was hop up on that table, get off the table, and double the next jump instead of doing the triple. Tomac would have gone by, and that's it. But I think those guys, they don't want to lose that many positions. Either when you're in the battle, it's hard. But I think that there just needs to be a little bit of a harsher penalty.
Yeah.
because then it would make
For
people
getting in
pull out of the way
because it's not optional at that
penalty
point.
for what? So the audience knows.
A penalty for getting in the way of the leader, like
of the race.
Tomac,
And possibly losing a champion contender.
yeah, and it was made worse by the conditions this weekend. Because
100%.
Tomac, when he jumped the triple, he almost got a little kick back to the right, and Vince was going to the left, and they almost crossed wheels, and that could have been it.
Same thing kind of happened with Hunter too, going green into the corner.
Yeah.
You know, where
Exactly.
that could have been bad.
So
have
I
been
think there
very
just
bad.
needs to be a little bit more on the line for the guys, so they know when they see blue flags,
I
they're
gotta
going
get
to
out of the
take it a
way.
little
Get out of
bit
the
more
way.
serious.
Yeah.
Because my last year racing, like I wasn't that good. I got lapped a lot, and I would go from being in 10th to 16th in 2 laps because as soon as I saw the blue flags, I'm like,
I'm getting out of the way.
Dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting in the
because
way.
you've
of
been in
anybody.
that
I've
been in that
there.
position where you're battling and someone's in your way.
That's
You're like,
not
dude,
going to be me, dude. It's
Yeah,
not-
so-
but I get passed by. I'd lay up too hard, and 3 dudes would pass me.
Yeah.
right. So,
yeah, you miss something in one section, everyone's going by.
But
you.
right now, I think with the points penalty system that they're doing this year, it's like if Vince Friese took out Eli Tomac when he was leading, he would get a warning.
100%.
If he did it again, he'd get a warning, and then eventually it would be some championship points he would
So
lose.
being harsher right off the bat would
Yeah,
probably
I
be
don't know,
better.
maybe
It'd make
a
you
grand,
more aware of it.
maybe a grand or half
Something,
your
yeah.
payout, something that makes you think about it. You just don't want to see that decide championships, decide races.
100%.
Adam, I saw a lot of comments. We have a Jaxxon podcast Discord, and we have a moto section, an MMA section. Everybody's always asking Twitch questions about the Metal Militia days, and they're always asking Twitch questions about the back of his house and DBK and everything he's got going on.
Oh, he's got a sick pad.
Yeah, they're always asking questions, right? And they ask about, he's dropping this brand new watch that he's wearing. It's coming out this summer.
Ooh,
so we allow them to
sick.
kind of like interact with us on a different level. But we have started to get some really detailed questions about moto. And one question me and Wayne were watching is everybody wants to know, how do elite racers pick lines with the ruts being so crazy and the races and the tracks, and then they're traveling, and like it's not like for example in soccer it's always a set field.
Same thing.
In basketball it's always a set court. In tennis it's maybe it's clay, maybe it's turf, but it's set. And in racing it's like it's up to the rider to really figure it out. And when you're racing at that high level, there's fast twitch muscles, there's your eye, there's kind of seeing what's in front of you. I asked Jett yesterday. Jett's like, sometimes I just feel it, and I don't even ride a rut. I don't even ride a line. I just pick like where I want to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I want to hear from your point of view. How do you pick the perfect like line? How do you pick the perfect way to go?
That's a very difficult. That's a very difficult question. A lot of it is, and that's one thing I think that makes Jett very special. I think he sees the track in a different way. Like we saw James Stewart come along in 2002, and he saw it.
He would jump.
He
and
saw
do.
it differently. Jett clearly sees like the things that he'll do on the bike. I'll watch him do it. I don't know how he arrived there. So to me, the way that he views the track, it would be like what you would call in the NBA, just like a high IQ player with massive court vision. It's kind of that way.
And it's almost like how they say golfers like play the course backwards. It's almost like Jett like rides the course backwards, that he's picking lines that no one else sees because he's just that I guess that far ahead of it, or that many steps ahead of where he's gonna go.
I think a lot of it is experience.
Yeah.
Like if you've raced Indianapolis 10 times,
Yeah.
If you have a line picked out in the turn, at the top of the turn, in the beginning of the race, it's going to last you 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you're
you
going to
know
have
it's gonna
to
go
find
away.
another one. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is experience, but most of it, you can be taught.
Yeah.
You can be taught kind of how to choose lines, but most of it is, it's kind of up to you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a feel thing
sure.
in the moment. And everybody likes to connect the track differently.
Yeah.
Like I think
Everyone looks at it differently.
Ricky Carmichael back in the day, when I was growing up in racing, like radius was a huge thing, coming from the outside to the inside. And then you turn on the TV and you see Ricky Carmichael going right through the biggest bumps on the racetrack, shortening up the track, going all the way down the inside. So I think it's also it's personal preference
100%.
too. Do you like railing the outsides like Tomac, or are you more like a Cooper Webb guy where you're
tight down on the
super
inside,
tight,
make the track shorter.
Exactly, getting creative with your lines.
It was crazy watching.
I hate to interrupt, but I got Hunter Lawrence FaceTiming. Should we answer it and ask him what he felt about this weekend? No, just
yeah.
Answer
Answer
it.
Hey, I hate to do this to you because I know you probably were going to tell me something super special and secretive, but you're actually on the podcast right now. I'm with Adam, Tyler Bierman, and Uncle Twitch.
You can't see me, dude.
Not really appropriate for a guy who's just calling to say hi, but cool. Thanks, Twitch. We just finished playing Pelican. I shot 75. No worries. So listen.
It was 74 like 20 minutes
Do you
ago.
see that? I have good people around me now
For
that
3 holes.
motivate me. Your brother was unbelievable with the pitching wedge. His short game, not so much. So we're watching the This Is Lawrence. First of all, amazing vlog. The gnarly triple crown victory.
Triple clown.
Yeah, I was going to say something about the clown that was talking in Spanish, but all good. So I want you to kind of break down to the team right now. What went through your head? How are you feeling? That's a big win for you, brother.
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, Triple Crown, AC knows. It's just you got to just keep on keeping on. Just refresh every race, focus on the start, evaluate around the first corner, and go from there. And then honestly, reset for the next one, go out and do the same thing. And just you kind of evaluate each race just right after the start. Honestly, you just got to reset. Go for the start. All right, where am I at? Where's my risk? Push. Try and do the best I can. That's all you can do. And not let the first and second main or one race influence another race, if that makes sense.
Brother, I see the bike kind of getting out from underneath you on some of these turns. How was the setup?
It was great. Honestly, I was really happy with it. We made a little change in between the first main for the second and third.
Nice.
And I felt like it was a really good one. So
Hey, Mighty, I'm on a podcast. Mighty Mouse, one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. I cannot answer. I'm on a podcast. Can I call you back?
Yes, you can.
Love you, bro. Thanks. Damn it.
That's
Hunter.
crazy.
Did you
Hunter
hang up
gets a
on
red
Hunter?
button. That is wild, bro. Nothing.
Just cool guy Hunter that fast?
Yeah, that's
No,
crazy.
I'm gonna just
bro.
say cut out.
You could tell he
Hey,
likes MMA
Hey, bro,
way
the
more.
Wi-Fi is crazy right now.
Bro, pay the bill.
I know, bro. Metro PCS, you know what I'm saying? You're a big ticket now that you're winning, bro. It's all the budget we got. But no, hey, we want to know about the bike, the track. We want to know about your Spanish. I heard you're doing hooked on phonics with a little Rosetta Stone. But let's go back to the bike real quick.
Yeah, the bike was really good. Bike was good. We made one small change in between the first.
What was
and
that? What was the change?
We went one click open on the rebound on the fork, and then for the second one, we did another rebound and one open on compression on the fork.
Nice.
Dude, how
to
slick
help the front
how
a little
slick did the track get?
Funny enough, for how soft Indy is, there was a few sections that were actually pretty slippery.
It looked like it.
hardback sections, like finish line, left down that section there, across the start straight was slippery. Yeah, it was interesting because normally it's just like super tacky, just like glue.
You know, one of the things that we dove into before the start of the season, which like with our statistician guys, was what stat equates to being a champion, and it all comes down to first lap position, like who has the lowest first lap position on average. And Hunter, dude, have your starts always been? Have you always been a good starter, or is this like a new thing for you on 450s? Because I don't remember you being up front all the time on a 250, like all the time up in the first couple laps.
Analyst of the year. That's an amazing question.
It was. I don't want to play the poor fiddle and stuff, but I feel like 250s we never really had the fastest engine.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
So I think 250s is a huge horsepower game. I feel like the end of 2022, I had really just inconsistent starts, and I just really, we locked in so hard to figure it out because, you're absolutely right. Like a champion, you can't be starting from outside top 10 every race. Like there's just absolutely no way.
Especially with the
my dad
depth
was
of
like,
that
hey,
field.
if you ever think you're going to have a shot at a championship, like this is the first thing you got to fix. Because you ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
From starting back in the pack.
100%.
And then I feel like we worked with the team, worked on clutch release and getting, what I felt like I needed the bike to help me with, consistency, that the clutch release, the clutch feedback and feel was identical during the week on race weekends. And just, dude, we kind of went to town on that. And I feel like since that, going into the 23 season, my starts have just been really, really good ever since then.
Do you
and
go
450 power is obviously there, and I feel like it just emphasized how perfect we had to be on the Honda 250 against the Yamahas, the obvious one.
Yeah.
Do you go to the gate with a new clutch in the bike or a little worn in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably could run the same clutch for a whole season, honestly.
Yeah, it does surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a new one
Would you
every
change clutches in between rounds at all? Or like between
No,
like
I was
heats
pretty
and
mellow
main?
on it. I was
Yeah.
pretty mellow on the clutch, yeah.
week. I always hold
Hunter, I feel like lately the shittier the track gets, the faster you get.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly, dude.
Yeah. I will say 2-3 weeks ago, I was on a dual sport ride and we rode like over 100 miles. We stopped by the fucking Honda track at like 4 p.m. Hunter's still out there testing. And I'm like looking down at the track. I'm like, nah, he's busy.
he's a
Like
monster.
it's late in the day. Like I don't want to bug him. And he looks up and he like sees my helmet and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, come down here. But I knew right then, I'm like, Hunter's going to win this weekend. And that was the weekend he got his first win.
Sick.
And I knew that it was just going to like open up that Pandora's box for him, that he's like gaining that confidence.
He's putting in the work.
And on paper, right, you would look at his results and you'd be like, okay, like he gets better as the season goes on. But like as soon as he got it, I'm like, he knows
clicking them off
that within himself that
Floodgates.
he's just
Yeah,
going to
for
keep
sure.
it going, you know?
Monster, Hunter. Hunter, you FaceTimed us a few days ago when Jett was at the house. You were telling us, from sunrise to sundown that you have been on the track testing, getting things prepared. I mean, do you feel like you put in a lot more work this season than you did last season?
No, I think I've just been putting a little more importance on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like just really not budging on what direction I feel like I need to go and why and how, those kind of things. So I think that's that as well as just the compounding years, dude. Like, it's tough to say because I feel like I'm working just as hard as what I was last year, but I feel like, AC, you can attest this. Some days you feel like things just start clicking and you don't necessarily know, like, oh yeah, I did this different when last year I didn't do this. But it's just happening, you know. And I feel like last year we had a lot of kind of unknown things with the new bike, at which we kind of got figured out after the first few rounds in outdoors, and me and Jett were both injured in the early stages of the Supercross. So we never really got to really get into our stride. So that was a bummer because I feel like I could have really gotten into it then. But, man, I've been stressing the importance on, well, not stressing, but like I was very vocal about how important this Supercross series was to me because motocross and SMX have been pretty good to me the past few years. So this was the one that have been eluding me.
Speaking of being hurt, the marshal today at Pelican Hill was like, hey, Jett, I bet your brother's pretty stoked. You got a broken ankle right now.
Everything. Before we hit our round of golf, I swear on everything before we hit our round of golf, we're 30 minutes late, and that's what the guy hits us with.
That's pretty good.
Hey,
insane.
Before we let you go, I know you're super busy hanging those new paintings behind your head of your dog.
And trophies.
Portraits and trophies everywhere.
Trophies.
Crazy win bonuses.
Buying new cars.
I get it, dude. I get it. New Ferrari. This kid's whipping around town. You and your brother both. Explain to me the importance of these bike, tools and what you've been adding to your garage. I believe one of it's called Body English, and you brought this up. I'm trying to figure out where that goes on the bike.
We're reaching right now, Bear.
Yeah.
We're reaching.
Yeah. What is Body English? Like, how does that make your bike better?
A little extra body English, a little extra emphasis, a little more intensity. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't bring up no body English.
Okay.
You media guys, they love to drop these questions.
Oh yeah.
Now there's someone on the internet, I don't even know who this guy is. I think he's a privateer, and he's talking about body Spanish. I think he's from Argentina or Portugal.
Argentina or Portugal.
Do you have any clue? I have no clue where he's from.
Hunter, just hang up, dude. You don't need this shit, dude.
Hunter, you good? Anything you want to touch upon? I'm good.
Sounds sexy.
Hey, I'm glad that you're enjoying the season and have a little bit of extra edge to you. You know what I'm saying?
Proud
Ever
of you,
since your
Hunter.
brother's been training with Hamza, he's coming back with a whole new mentality.
Hey, the photo you posted today with the Hamzat beard on was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send him 2-3 years to the dog pound and forget it.
Is the dog pound what the name of your farm is? Your house?
Yeah, that's what we
Got
call
it.
our facility.
Do you and the podcast wants to know, do you wear the nose strip for that like Rocky Balboa edge, like more of like, yo, I'm here to play West Coast ball? Like, what is the nose strip doing for you right here?
Well, I don't know if you can hear, but my sinuses are absolutely jacked. The pollen in the air right now is bad, but it just helps breathe. I mean,
Opens your
They help
ears.
out a lot.
And it kind of
breathe through the nose.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I feel like it
know
reminds
some
you to
guys
breathe.
like
Yeah.
And you,
write stuff
and you
on
pair
them.
that with
I
some
think
range essentially.
I was told it's something you wear after you eat a nice tapa or paella. It's a Spanish dish. That's what I heard. That's why he's wearing. So I'm gonna let you go now.
Good job, Hunter.
Yeah, all right.
Keep going.
Hey, we love you, brother. Congrats on your new Ferrari and everything else you're buying. Save some for us. We'll make it there one day. Keep going.
Keep going, Clint.
Hey, he's a better man than me. 'Cause
Yeah.
You called me like 4 days after the race happened. I won going into a weekend off, but it's so important for these guys trying to win the title to stay
Yeah.
level-headed.
Yeah.
Like you call me like 4 days later, put me on the spot like that, I'm hanging up on you. He's a better man than me. Mentally stronger than me.
I'm still trying to figure out, wait till I start doing it on purpose. We will use some body Spanish, LOL. I don't even know what that means. And it's just taken TikTok by storm. Does anybody want to help me with this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Hunter was asked something in the post-race about, because Prado kind of let Eli by. And then he
gave him a
hopped
wheel
in
to
pretty
Hunter.
aggressively
Yeah.
But they're
on
affiliated.
Hunter. They
your
are
teammate.
They are.
They're affiliated.
And I don't know. I can't think back and remember how much Hunter has like helped Jett in certain situations
Yeah.
or
100%.
not. But if I had to guess, like in terms of like what is proper when trying to help a teammate win a championship, I really think it's just ride the best you can.
Yeah.
Don't do anything crazy. Don't go out of your way to block anybody.
Sure. Ruin someone else's day.
Yeah, like
if you can get in there and mix up the podium and get in between like the championship rival per your team, like that's kind of the goal.
I think this is probably just some shit talk.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't see Prado really going out there and trying to take him out.
No, not at all.
Anything.
When you're at that level of racing, you don't do shit like that because you know it could really hurt someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you're at like the top guys, they don't do that.
So who's right, who's wrong?
They're both right.
I don't think anybody's wrong. I think this is good. I like the back and forth.
I love it, dude. It gives people something to talk about.
Yeah.
It's not like, like way back in the day, like everyone would talk so much shit to each other. And then for a while there, it got like no one would say anything. It was just thumbs up on the podium. And then that was it. That's all you heard of. You didn't see
robotic.
Now it's like everyone's doing vlogs now. Everyone's like you know, cool. Like you can relate to each rider more now by stuff like that. It's great for the sport.
We gotta give Prado a shout out too, because he's been
really,
oh my god,
especially after a struggle year and a lot of people.
This is Jorge Prado saying this. Yeah, Hunter.
Yeah.
No way.
Who the hell did you think it was? You can't read.
No. That's what I've been trying to
coming into the year. Coming into the year, he was. He had a terrible deal going on with Cowie last year and all that. He didn't agree with the bike. But it did not look good. And for him to come to America already winning 2 world titles, he's a little bit older. When he came over here at 24, 25, most of the time guys from Europe, guys like Ken Roczen, they come over here at 18 years old, like after they win an MX2 title. Yeah, so for him to come late, and then figure it out as much as he has, he's not quite elite level Tomac, Hunter, Jett, Chase, those guys. He's not there yet, but he's come a long way.
He's a champion, man.
He's figuring it out.
He'll find a way.
And him on that KTM, he looks so good on it, dude. Like I was out at the test track a couple weeks ago watching him ride, and I'm just sitting there going, holy shit. If this Jorge shows up to the track, oh my God, dude. Like
the whoops
and his corner speed that he was doing. Like I remember watching the super slick section before the whoops of how early he was getting on it in the corner versus everyone else that was out there. And I'm like, dude, he looks so good. And then he showed up, Anaheim won, you know what I mean? Like
he was pole.
Dude.
He's good.
Like he looks really good on that bike.
So speaking of riders, what about Chase Sexton? What's going on with him this season? What do you think, Adam?
Well, he made the switch to Kawasaki, and he has had, I think, he's had a history of being. And Chase and I kind of grew up together in a way. He's like my little brother, not so little anymore. Obviously, way better than I ever was. But he made the switch to Cowie, and it didn't end great with KTM, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's always been very honest in himself when he's on the podium, press conference, and I think that can get him in some hot water. 100%. But I like to see people being themselves.
Yeah,
and so if he goes out on the track and the bike's holding him back from doing something, Chase is probably going to tell you. And I think over a prolonged period of time, even though he is just being honest, it can come across like
the wrong way.
Trying to deflect accountability. Or I don't know him to be that. Yeah. Like obviously he's a champion. You don't get this good by making a bunch of excuses. But he got on the Cowie, and it's taken. Sometimes it just takes some time for guys to get comfortable.
Dude, when he's on it, he looks so good on that bike. Like
I mean, he won Anaheim too. Looked great.
Yeah, it looks so
good. And then
good.
I think he's just been. I don't know. I think it's so difficult when you're going back to the test track every weekend, changing all these variables on the bike. It's hard enough if you show up on the exact same bike. It's hard enough to make it work.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Like when he switched from Honda to KTM, like there was some growing pains. There was, too. And
he wasn't as fast.
Knowing that you're gonna change a bike, change chassis from a steel frame, aluminum frame, back and forth, like. It's going to be some growing pains. It's just how it is. And like, I would love to see him out there, but I think like, again, he's a champion, man. That guy, he'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. But it was weird. Like I've never seen as many changes to a front end on a bike as I've seen with him on Cowie. You know, like just someone posted the picture the other day of like the different clamps, like just everything that was going on.
Running the stock triple clamps at one point.
Just trying everything. Yeah. But that's how you become a champion is figuring out you have to try this stuff to get your bike to work how you guys are looking for that feeling, you know?
And the one thing I'll say about Chase, he's struggling. He crashed in practice Thursday before Daytona. I think he hurt his hip, maybe side.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's coming back. We have a weekend off this weekend. He's coming back from Birmingham. It's obviously out of the championship. But one thing I'll say about Chase, I've always respected the way that guy works. He is completely, he does not give two shits about anything other than winning dirt bike races, winning championships.
Yeah.
And I've watched him work a little behind the scenes, like leading into the season. We're like doing a team shoot, doing some whips and stuff. And he's going back to the truck and being like, let's try this on the front. Like, he is really about it.
Yeah.
Like, he loves the grind. He's obsessed with it. And so I think it's a double-edged sword. I think you can be too obsessed with getting the bike too good, or you got to know when to focus on each, but it's a tough balance. I mean, as you guys know,
when
it's
you want to
hard.
win, you're not going to stop until you win there. Let's try, if this ain't working, let's try this.
And it's not good enough. You can't just be insanely talented on the bike, work really hard, be really fit. You have to have a motorcycle that allows you to be your best self if you're going to win races 100%. In today's day and age, because the margin for error now compared to 2005, Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, James Stewart crashed in the first turn in 05. Lap 6, they're 1, 2, 3.
Back up there,
It just doesn't happen anymore.
It's just too stacked now. And like you were saying earlier, like with the track and the bike breaking down, like how the dudes are starting to set their bikes up more towards the end of the race when it's like you got to know what you're looking for and how the track's going to break down to do that setting. And sometimes you're like, yeah, this works, and then sometimes you're like, man, we went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Do we feel that Hunter is a clear favorite to win the championship, or is it still up for grabs?
It's never over till it's over, man. There's too many guys, and like you might know this stat, but how many Supercross champs are in, like, whether it's lights 250 or 450, how many guys have a Supercross championship that are in the 450 class now? It's got to be at least 13.
I mean,
15.
if we have a full field like we had at Anaheim 1, it's got to be over half.
Right?
Yeah.
Over half of
All
the
the
guys
dudes
have
have
a
been a
championship.
champion.
Yeah, and that's unbelievable.
Hunter and Eli, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the odds are in Vegas right now, because there is betting now. You can bet on dirt bike racing.
Yeah.
I would say, what is Tomac back? Maybe 6 points, 7 points back. It's hard to bet against. It's hard. Eli's been there so many times. He's done it before.
Here's the points.
Yeah, he's 4 back.
back.
I mean, I think you put the odds, if I'm Vegas, I'm setting the odds 50-50 between those two. Because
100%.
Eli just has been there so many times. He's won, I think he has 57 wins now after winning Daytona for an 8th time.
Yeah.
Which is so
it's
gnarly.
We
hard.
just talked about it on the last pod. He's like 4 or 5 away from Jeremy McGrath.
And with Tomac this year compared to years past, I think whatever they found with KTM, it allows him to go faster at lesser effort.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Eli's always looked like he's going really fast.
Yeah.
And this year he actually, sometimes guys, if they look a little slower, will actually be better.
Faster.
Yeah.
And his turns are really unbelievable on all conditions. And in the past, even on the Yamaha and the Cowie, there would be times where he'd go out there and get 8th. And you'd be like, what's going on with Eli? And we're not seeing that this year. And I think there's something to the amount of experience that he has. I think he's kind of playing with house money a little bit. A title would be great, but his legacy is kind of secure either way. So there's a calmness that comes with that.
It seems like
if you're Hunter, it's hard to match up with that.
Yeah. And it just seems like Tomac this year is just really having fun riding.
He looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah.
And in the past, he's looked over it.
He looks pissed off, just irritated. Now you're like, you see a smile on his face all the time.
Let's go. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Does
it's
everybody
rad.
think he was enjoying himself when he chipped his tooth?
Yeah,
Dude, that was gnarly.
Crazy.
That was gnarly.
What's up with that thing? Is the trophy was cemented to the podium?
No, he already picked. Picked up the trophy earlier, just like that. He picked up the trophy
I
before
actually
and
never
held it
saw.
up. That was the second time he went.
I saw after the fact. I never actually saw.
I seen it real speed right there, dude. He hit that thing hard.
Yeah, and then the video I seen, his tooth was, they were zoomed in on the ground on his tooth.
They found
and then
it.
They zoomed out to him. Yeah, it was sitting right on the.
They found it and put it back on Monday
Hunter's
morning.
like, what's wrong, brother?
I will say too, like you asking like who has a championship, man, it's crazy because any given weekend a point swing can happen in literally the flip of a switch. It's like so much depth in the field, and like
some could happen, and Ken and Webb could be right back in it.
I mean, it's like last weekend, if that wasn't a triple crown, Ken and AP going down in the rhythm like that, that could have like that was, at least 10, 15 points lost.
It's been rad seeing how consistent Kenny has been this year. Because like he always has the speed, you know what I mean? Especially when the gate drops, like his intensity level is so high and he gets to the front so quick. But to him, being healthy and like in the years past, like he would be up there, but then he would fade really bad. It's like it's cool to see him stay there the whole race now.
Yeah.
No, totally. And I've known Ken. I mean, since he came over, we were training with Eldon Baker.
Yeah.
When he came over, I lived with him like the first couple summers I moved out of my parents' house, went down to Claremont, lived with him, and how everybody grows so much personally in that amount of time from 18 to whatever he is now, 32. But he's just a lot more, Ken. Like he's just way more level-headed. We talked to him on Monday for our podcast after Indy, and just the way that he's able to bounce back after tough results. And I think that's why he's staying in it long. Because there's nobody that has more bike skill or just natural talent on the bike than Ken Roczen.
He's so good to just sit back and watch ride. You're just like, dude, he's insane.
You're like, how do you do this? And he'll come just straight off the couch. Too, and he'll go to Diz Nations.
Yeah,
and
go
just
do an outdoor.
Run up front with the best in the world.
Was it
right off the couch?
Was it last year when he came out and rode with you and jumped those big ass jumps out at?
No, that was 2 years ago when he won Indy. Was that 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah,
23.
He came out.
He was like struggling a little bit.
Well, I remember going there as Moto Sandbox, and he's on a grind. It's like later in the afternoon. The whole team's there. Larry Brooks, like they're testing suspension. The whole show. I think it was KYB or show.
I don't remember
whatever they were running, but they were all out there and they were testing, grinding.
Knowing Ken, it was both.
It was probably both, honestly. And I'm like hitting this jump out behind the barn, and Ken like rides over and he's like, "Oh, like how big is that?" And like kind of looking at it, and I was like, "Dude, like you have it all, Dave." And he's like, "Okay, well, let me go back over here and finish testing, and I'll come follow you off of it." And I'm like, "No way."
How big was the jump?
It was 165.
But it was a straight double.
It was a straight double.
Yeah, that thing was
dirt to dirt.
a launcher too. Yeah, high.
And I like hit this thing a few times, and he like comes over and he's like, "Oh, I'm done testing. Like, let me follow you into it." And I'm like, "Okay." Like,
what do you say? Let me follow you a couple times real quick.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, come in third, rolling speed, and right at the bottom, just like you're hitting a Supercross finish line. Just sit into it." And I hit the thing, and I'm like, I hit it like kind of hang a wheel on it too. Like I probably should have hit it faster if I knew he was going to be behind me, or like at least gauging.
But you didn't know
speed.
he was jumping. It was the first test run.
And I look being like, luckily he was probably a little scared that like when I'm in the air, I like look back and I'm like, holy shit, he's right there, and he jumped it. And whatever, like we hit it a few times. He decked
it pretty good the first time, right?
Kind of, pretty good. Like kind of decked it and bounced, but not too bad. But then he came back and he was like, "Dude, that was so fun. I haven't hit a jump like that and whatever." And you could just tell he just had this like smiling energy of like a testing, grinding day, like. And then something to be said about having fun
to relieve it with like a fun ass free ride jump at the end of the day and like that rush.
I remember coming into the barn and like Larry Brooks like kind of was like, "You motherfucker, like this is like our guy. Like if anything was to happen, whatever." Which I totally get the concern. But then, like, he posted it, and like he was just had this like mood about him after, right?
And he calls me. He's like, "Kenny's gonna win this weekend."
Yeah, and the next day, Larry comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, like I just want to say like thank you for doing that for him. Like he was really stoked. I haven't seen a smile like that over the last couple weeks because we've been grinding, right?" And I was just like, mark my words, like he's gonna go and win this weekend. And I was that day in the dirt, Florida. We're sitting there watching it, and I'm like screaming at the TV because I'm like, "Yeah, imagination Ken," because I've been trying to poke him to like come to imagination over, years that we've done it. But they kind of did that, and I think Wes Williams has a clip of me that said, like I said, mark my words. There's something to be said about having fun. I didn't do very good in Supercross, but the times I did my best was the week after free riding in the hills with Jeremy. Mm-hmm. And that was my best like result ever. And then sure as hell, he put his money where my mouth was and he won.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think there's something to be said too for wanting it too bad. Yeah. And I think a lot of guys fall 100%. Into that. It creates like a energy wise, I think it creates like a resistance almost.
When you're capable, it's almost like
you have to convince yourself that you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like you have to grind like your life depends on it. And then in those clutch moments where you have to make it happen, it's like you got to let all idea of consequence go. Yeah. Completely.
100%.
100%. What about the competitive nature of Jett Lawrence? He gets out of surgery, he's doing recovery, and now he's training with UFC superstar light heavyweight Khalil Roundtree. Have you seen this video?
I haven't. Or I might have.
On the internet, yeah. So Jett's basically been out here in the OC, and he's doing recovery, and every night he's been, hanging out with the Hamzat Chimaev camp here at Santo Studio in Jaxxon, and now he's training with Khalil Roundtree at nighttime, doing bands, doing movement. It's a lot of cool things that they're doing without weights. But this kid wants to get back on a bike so insanely fast. It's unreal. I think he's a few weeks ahead of schedule as well.
And yeah, I think for any dirt bike racer and especially when you're hurt, I think that the hardest thing to do is to sit around.
Yeah.
And not be doing something.
It's definitely the worst for the mind.
When you know everyone around you is working and getting better.
And even guys that are riding, even guys that aren't hurt, whatever, I think a lot of guys end up doing too much because they're trying to deal with that anxiety in their head. Like I know so many guys that have just blown themselves out during the week because they cannot convince themselves to sit still and recover on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I think the more, especially Jett being young still, I think the more he does stuff like that, gets stimulated, doesn't think about not racing. I think that's great.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jett and what he's been doing? You've seen a lot of the behind the scenes training of the camp. I've seen
Jett, we created a monster with this dude. Like when he came out here, he was so like humble and like wouldn't ever talk crap to us. Now he's just talking
I
so
saw
much
him
shit
on
to all
golf
of us,
course
dude.
today. He was not holding back.
It's like a whole new, he's like spunkier now, dude.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
What about for the world of moto, Adam? Do you like kind of what we're doing here? This is kind of more of a personal question, but do you like the idea of blending the cultures of mixed martial arts and UFC and jiu-jitsu and moto? Like even for the grand opening of our Jaxxon store, you know, the team we brought, I think, was so diverse. You have Khalil Roundtree, Luke Rockhold, P-Rod and Sheckler, Bierman and Jett Lawrence and Twitch. And then you also have like all the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world, Jansen Gomez, Bernardo. And it's cool. Cole Hoshman, a surfer. I feel like it's different for the moto world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking before we came on, and there's been so much golf and moto crossover. And it's like, why hasn't there been more UFC stuff with because it seems like it makes more sense.
100%.
Like dirt bike racers, to me, they're like dirt bike racers. Of course, UFC, that's like OG gladiators.
Yeah.
But in terms of action sports, dirt bikes are gladiators in the arena.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, same as kind of UFC. So I love the crossover. And I would think UFC fans would enjoy dirt bike racing.
A lot of them
gave it a shot.
Yeah, a lot of them do. But then you get some that are like, we don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool. Like A2, for example, my family won A1. We went and it was a zoo. We brought like 40 people.
Oh,
A1's always
it's
the
insane.
It's hard to get around, right? A2, I had Khalil Roundtree, who loves Supercross now. He watches it every weekend. So does my family. So does half the staff here at Jaxxon and Santo. And basically hit me up and was like, yo, dude, let's go to A2. Let's get a suite. So Twitch went, we went, Nyjah, Sheckler, Khalil Roundtree, a bunch of the guys. I mean, we brought Eli De La Cruz, who's like one of the greatest baseball players in the world.
Stoked.
He was stoked to be there and hanging out with Twitch. But I feel like the world of moto itself does not do a good enough job maybe at showing how exciting it is. Because when you go there, like Khalil Roundtree was like, I get the exact same adrenaline I do when I watch a UFC fight, like at the Apex Arena or at the T-Mobile Center when I'm at Supercross, hearing the noise, smelling it. I feel it's hard. It's an experience that people go to and then you're hooked.
Yeah, but when you have someone that's a friend or an acquaintance that you know, that you have someone to cheer for in a certain sport, I feel like it makes it way cooler.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Because like
100%.
you're more hyped because you have like a relationship with that person that you're watching out there.
That's
go
what
to
I mean. The
battle.
storylines.
Yeah.
Like I think UFC does a great job at like embedded in countdown. Before UFC fights, you learn everything about both fighters. You kind of are able to pick a side. You know what they're doing. You know who you're rooting for, and you have 10 weeks of that. And then you get the fight. Yeah. So the story and the buildup is so much more greater. And I feel like in Supercross, it's an amazing show. Like I love watching it. I think you do a fantastic job. Ricky Carmichael does an insane job. But I think the storyline, like, why is there a rivalry between, you know, Chase and Jett? Like, stop with the Jett and Degan thing. He's not even in the same class. Like, give us something that we can have some meat on the bone. And I feel like more viewers would kind of be more hooked into the storyline when they're not watching racing. That's where UFC wins. UFC wins during the week.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about. We have an amazing podcast. There's amazing shows. There's a lot going on. But during the week for Supercross, where's the storylines coming from kind of corporate level?
We got a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
Going. I got my podcast, but there's a bunch
You
of
have Villapoto has his podcast.
Yeah,
But I just
and
meant
Ricky.
the storylines.
It's cool to
like,
see
there's a
more.
lot to chew on
No, there
from the
is.
podcast because UFC gives us these embedded these countdowns.
And I think with dirt bike racing, 31 races.
Yeah,
too.
that's
It's
a
hard
lot.
to. It's hard where a fighter maybe will fight twice a year.
yeah.
Twice a year. It's a little bit easier to have that massive build in. There's those two guys. I understand that. I think there's a lot of good storylines in dirt bike
it's just-
racing right now.
I feel
and
like with moto, a lot of people are scared to talk about what beef is going on where and there.
Why is that?
it's just
You're right.
It's
100%.
I think it's a small sport.
He was freaking out that I was asking about Rosetta Stone. I truly didn't know Hablo Espanol. Adam was having a meltdown on me.
I will say, man, if like Drive to Survive for F1, like if they were to do something like that in Moto, there's so much personality.
Moto needs that.
I agree. In like personality that like it would be insane, and there would be like people could like watch something and be like, oh, like Adam is an amazing person, like off the bike, away from it.
Yeah,
and
I
like,
actually like him now because I know who
want
he
to
is.
watch him because now
that's what Embedded
him.
does for UFC fighters.
100%. And I will say these guys with their podcast and all the podcasts were trending in the right direction. But to his point of 31 races, like these guys on their couple days off, the last thing they want to do is see a camera or a dirt bike. They want to go pure recovery and like shut the world out for a second to like kind of reconnect.
Do their own thing.
I think it's a sense of follow the leader a little bit. Like when I was growing up in racing, you had Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, but as I got closer to the pros, it was Ryan Villopoto, Ryan Dungey, and these guys. I mean, Ryan will tell you, Ryan wasn't having a good time. Really, when he was doing it. He looks back now and he's like, man, that was sick. But there was a period of time in dirt bike racing, really in kind of the 2010s, late 2000s, where it's very robotic. There wasn't a lot of emotion. And as a young rider coming through the sport, you feel like you have to be that.
You just
because that's what the top does. So what am I missing? Well, I can't have I started doing, I was one of the first guys to start doing vlogs and stuff, and how much shit I got for that. Because you're not focused enough, or you're not this
from teams and stuff.
As a kid, that stuff kind of can shape you a little bit. You think you got to be this or that, but now it's way more. Like you said, we're trending in the right direction. Guys are showing way more personality.
Everyone has a vlog now. Like
everyone has a brand.
Yeah,
now
everyone is a brand.
And it's,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, and it's not just thank the sponsors and get off the podium and that's it. There's a lot there, especially for the hardcore fan that knows where to go. I think that will become more mainstream if we keep going in this direction.
It's a lot cooler when you can have personality and be yourself and not worry about the backlash from other people. Because I feel like in Supercross, a lot of people can't act like they normally act on camera. You know what I mean? Just because you're like, oh, well, what if so-and-so over here doesn't like what I'm doing or saying? So it's like, it's hard because that's the dude that's paying your bills at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
there's not a lot of opportunity.
And this is where the UFC wins, because Dana White does such a good job at making sure, you don't have sponsors on your shorts, but everybody's allowed to have their own personal brand. Everybody's allowed to talk and be loud. Dana, he empowers them to be who they are. He kind of enables them to go on their press conference tours and literally just give it to the other guy. They build the fights. But like the Drive for Survive thing, a similar concept to that would be like when the season's over for Supercross and the season's over for motocross, and you get that, for outdoors, you get that 1 or 2 months empty, or maybe even if it is that, taking 3 or 4 guys, building a storyline. So going into the year, you have all the clips, and then you just have like a storyline where it's during the week, they're able to kind of follow along. So people could be like, all right, cool, I get what's going on. It's a lot easier. You're right. It's a lot easier for MMA. I didn't even think about that because, dude, a guy's fighting twice a year. Like, we have Hamzat Chimaev here. He's here with 10 dudes. 3 of them are from Chechnya. He has Khalil Roundtree in his camp, Luke Rockhold. We did that to bring him into the brand. They're filming all the behind the scenes. We're doing it for our Jaxxon Behind the Brand show. We have him on the podcast. I got 10 weeks with him to film content. Uninterrupted. He trains at 11 in the morning, 7 at night. So I got him twice a day. When Jett and Hunter first came here last year, and I always give Twitch the praise for this. Sheckler was the original one to kind of link me up with them. I called Twitch. I said, yo, do we get these guys? Twitch is like the godfather of moto for us. So not the godfather of moto for the world, but for us, he is. And I'm like, yo, good? No? He's like, yeah, let's make it happen. And they were very like, yo, no media, no nothing. I'll do the photo shoot. And I was like, that's not gonna work for me. Like we're like always filming, always having fun. Like, be serious and focused. Like, don't tell me we don't empower world champions. We have world champions in and out of here every day.
You just don't want to, as a dirt bike racer, you don't want to come across like you're distracted.
So weird.
You're really,
so
I know,
you gotta be
really
focused.
sensitive to that.
I think if the team owners and if the organization, if Feld and everybody came out and said, listen, dude, go and promote the sport how you see fit and let everybody kind of run wild, you'll build storylines naturally. Because I feel like guys will be talking about it on their own personals.
Well, I feel like when you're winning, you can honestly do whatever the fuck you want. Like, look at little Degan right now. You know what I mean? It's like, he can talk as much shit as he wants because he can back it up.
100%.
If you can't back up your shit talking, then you got a problem, So it's...
And I think a lot of the especially in the 250 class, these guys are just happy to have a ride.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to, You're not trying to rock the boat. You're not trying to change the system. You spent your whole life working to be the top 0.5% of the 0.5%
and to make that ride.
I mean, it's really hard in dirt bike racing to make $200,000 a year.
Yeah,
like you have to be so good for so long to get to that point that once you get there, you will do anything, be anything.
Yeah, you're just glad you have a ride.
It's up to the guys like Jett or like Eli, the guys that are well established in the game. Those are the guys that can change things for everyone.
Yeah, they can help.
But if you're expecting the dude, the fifth guy on Star Racing Yamaha, that's just stoked to be getting $150,000 in a sick bike, if you're expecting him to like change the way the sport is, it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's like it has to be from someone that has won a lot and it's established.
I think too, it's like it really is trending in the right direction because when you look back to like
it's everything.
RV like kind of getting a little burnt out and retiring so young that like
that was the standard.
Like the oldest champion was 27 years old, which is crazy. And now like Eli being able to kind of continue to come back and be fighting for championships. Now you look at dudes like Cooper and Ken and like all these guys are now into their 30s and they're still doing it and loving it, but also setting that example for the next generation.
Yeah, that you can do it this long.
You totally can.
I got two things for you guys, and then we're gonna run out of here. I know it's been a long day, and I appreciate you coming on the pod again.
No worries.
We got to have you on more pods after races because people love the breakdown. So this is definitely something I hope we can make regularly. But there's two things. One is you brought up the name. A lot of people ask about him. But in all seriousness, is there any real competition in the 250 class for Degan right now, or is he kind of in his own world?
I think he's pretty much in his own world.
Yeah.
This year especially, this was the first year in outdoors since year 2. He was great as a rookie, but year 2 outdoors, he was far and away the best guy. Supercross, he was the best guy in year 3. Or no, wait, was that year 2? This would be year 3 for Supercross, right? Yeah. And so this third year, and he needed one more year in the 250 class to me to do what he's doing right now, which I think most people expected what he's doing based on how much better he's gotten since he started.
Will he be a top 5 racer in the 450 class next year if he moves up in Supercross?
Yeah,
he'll be a top 5
I think
guy.
he'll figure it out. Yeah. I think there'll be times where it's not going to be easy, and he'll probably have some moments where there might be a DNF here, or he might, mess up like all of us do when we go to the class. But outdoors right away, I mean, he's going to the premier class this summer. He's going to be a podium guy
what
in
happens
outdoors.
in outdoors with him and Jett and Hunter and everybody this outdoors
It's going to be good racing.
It is going to be really good racing. It's a great
sure.
time to be a fan 100%. Of the sport.
There's going to be some good shit talking and some good racing. That's 100. That's what I'm looking for this summer.
What are you looking forward to?
Good shit talking and good racing.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, I think Jett's going to be just ready to go with the way he's been talking lately.
I love it, dude. Our sport needs this. Like what I mean?
Contrasting personalities too, where you have somebody like a Jett or a Hunter that will kind of be like, I'd rather my riding do the talking for me.
Yeah.
And that's not the way they do it. Degan, that's a part going back to the UFC thing too. I mean, Degan is our first UFC guy.
Yeah.
Where he'll just go
fights,
and say
it's
anything. And the more he talks, a big game. It's like he gets better when he puts the pressure on himself.
100%.
And especially the guys
pressure.
in the 250 class, 99.9% of them can't handle it, and they fold.
They can't handle the shit talking.
Do you truly believe that?
No, there's no doubt about it.
I understand but do you really feel that pressure of him talking about them and talking the way he does? It makes really their mental that decapitating.
I think it does.
I don't know if it's completely. I don't think they're crying themselves to sleep at night, but he. I mean, you can tell
you get under people's skin really easy.
I value what you say. So
he
take that to heart.
And it doesn't help with the internet now. Now everyone, if he talks shit, everyone else is going to jump on board. That's his fan. That's also going to make that impact that much. More
it's going to be.
Head.
It will be harder for him to do that at the next level because the guys, the Tomacs, the Roczens, the Cooper Webbs, Hunter, Jett, those guys.
It's a different game.
Yeah, and they have experience. They know what to do. They've been there before. It's really going to be difficult for him to ruffle their feathers, but that to me is kind of part of his strategy too. He's a bit of a disruptor.
Yeah.
So Degan, he may not be what's cool about him is he could go and be 2 seconds a lap faster than the dudes in 250 class right now and win by 40 seconds. Or we can have a race like we did at Seattle with him and Levi Kitchen, where he waits for him, lets him by, and he wants to battle.
Yeah.
And then he'll win it that way.
Yeah.
So he can win
that
it.
was a good race. Like,
But shout out to Levi.
Deegan, because of just his intangibles and the way that he races, he can win when he's not the best guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which to me, that is ultra impressive from someone that young.
It almost
where
takes
he
me
can do
back to
that.
like the J-Law and Villapoto days, like being on the gate, talking shit to each other. You know what I mean? And
But
Do you
Deegan loves.
expect to see that in outdoors?
I don't think it'll be that gnarly, but there's going to be.
He's smart. I think that whole camp is smart enough to know
They're really
he's
good
gonna
at marketing.
He's probably going to tone it down a little bit as he kind of earns his stripes in the 450 class.
Yeah.
But
And then let it
once he gets to that level where he knows he can go out there and win, we're going to see.
It's going to be a different story.
But it's going to be great.
It's going to be good racing and a lot of talking. I think we're going to have a good summer.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the Lawrence brothers. I'm excited to see Jett come back strong and healthy. I mean, this guy cannot wait to get on a bike.
Didn't he do this last year? He came back from an injury
Yeah.
ACL,
right before Paula round one.
Very
Dude,
And
quick.
went 1-1.
Yeah.
An ACL in 3 months.
In 3
Yeah.
months.
3 months, like race ready
And
in
came back
3
and
months.
won.
Yeah, which is gnarly.
I did both
You
of
guys
my-
know how long it takes to heal
I
from
did
an
both
ACL.
of my ACLs, and I was back on the bike at 4 months, and I thought I was sick. Like, I thought, I'm like, dude, like nobody
This
can
dude
do
is
this.
boxing
can do this.
on his foot, and he just had surgery 2 days ago. And he's
He was
boxing.
golfing with us
And
today.
he's golfing, yeah. All right, last thing I got for you, Adam. I know I got to let you go. Talk to me about the red light issue. I feel like the internet wants to know your
Shimoda.
opinion.
Yeah,
Shimoda,
this was
what
brutal.
happened?
This
And
was.
walk
I
us
was
through
so
what
bummed.
should be, what shouldn't be. What do you thought?
Yeah, Joe got screwed right here. So we have a new. See that if you wind it back a little bit, that first double before the finish line, they have a thing this year. I believe it's the first year they did it, where there's lights on some of these tough blocks, and there was a red light on the tough block of the face of the double before the finish line.
Yep.
And he obviously
You can't see
he
it
didn't
right there,
know
but yeah.
he didn't know the rules clearly, which I didn't either, and I think a lot of people
didn't because
but the
everyone was
yellow
tripping.
lead or the red lead-in light was supposed to let you know that the next jump there's going to be a red cross flag on it, so it's like a pre-warning.
See, I didn't know that.
Exactly, but as a racer, you see red.
You're
you
like-
think wheels on the ground,
Wheels on the
ground.
wheels on the ground,
Yeah.
and so they changed that rule because this happened. The light was, I don't know, I think there was a short circuit in the light or something, so the light got left on, but there was no red cross flag on the finish line either. But because he rolled the double, he didn't have enough speed
Yep.
to get the finish line. He gets past. All the riders behind him jumped on the red light
Yeah.
and kept going, which was legal based off the rules. But now they changed it to where the lead-in light is flashing yellow
Okay.
instead of just red.
Yeah.
Which red
You see
as
red,
a
you
rider,
automatically
you're
think
wheels on the ground.
wheels on the ground.
every time.
I don't want to
So
get docked.
That Pierce Brown, I think that was a great story. Crashed at the
I loved
opener.
it.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
dude, that guy's been
He's been through the ringer, and
he's been through the ringer. It was great to see, and I'm not taking anything away, but Joe definitely had a really good chance to win that race.
it's pretty rad to see how quick Joe bounced back from breaking his neck
100%.
preseason. You know what I
Insane.
mean? Like, and like when I saw the announcement of him racing the first round, I'm like, whoa! Like when I was talking to him,
Yeah, no
they were
way.
thinking like maybe fourth or fifth round, maybe, you know. But then he got back on the bike and he's like, I just felt
I was
good.
thinking outdoors.
Came
Yeah.
back on the podium. It's crazy.
Yeah, like dude,
And
he's
Joe,
been consistent this year.
When you guys were talking about personality and stuff off the bike, Joe, dude, that guy is
He has a personality now.
Funny.
He's
Dude,
so
he's
funny,
so
dude.
funny.
So funny. I trained with him for a couple years. If I could just keep a camera on that guy,
I feel like he's came out of his shell a little more
He
every
hangs out
year.
here
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, and like now when I see
he's
him, he just
insane.
yeah, dude. I
I
love
trained
Joe.
with Joe Cancelleri. So
Yeah.
he trained here for like a whole like off season. Hung out every morning with like my dad works out in the morning with Joe Cancelleri, and Pierce Brown was working out with them. Romano, like a bunch of the riders that train with Joe, and Shimoda was in there, and every morning I'm just like, bro, this guy's hilarious. And I was telling
He's
Twitch, I'm
so
like, why
funny.
is he not like this? And Twitch is like, explaining to me the whole world of moto. And I'm like, Joe, you should just hang out. So we did a Levi Kitchen. He did a Levi Kitchen podcast,
And he just hung out there
and I
talking
told
shit
him-
back and
yeah,
forth the whole
so
time.
outside there's a cage right outside our podcast studio. We're looking at the cage right now while we film this. And I tell him like, Joe, just sit in on this thing. And if you have something to say, you could talk and you're going to interview him. And I'm like making a joke, not thinking he's actually going to do this. Homeboy does his podcast with us, waits 30 minutes, and then sits through 2 hours of another podcast sitting right near
No
Levi's
way.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
epic.
he's like, well, you told me to sit here. And I'm like, dude, this is all time, dude. Yeah, he's all time, dude.
I trained with him. We shared a trainer my last couple years racing, and we rented a house and we went to Michigan, trained for like a month in the summer, middle of outdoors. And dude, that guy, I've never seen anything like how, like, he sleeps 15 hours a night.
So gnarly.
I've never seen anything like it. Like, the dude will literally go to bed at 7 o'clock at night and wake up at 10 the next day. No problem. Just
Still
a
a
dead
kid.
sleep. Yeah, it's insane. I've never seen anything like it. And the guy doesn't get tired.
That's
He
all
doesn't
time.
sweat, doesn't get tired. He's like a specimen, dude.
yeah,
when,
that's all time.
When you're talking about the trainer that you guys had out there, was it with Nick Way?
Yeah, it was Nick.
Dude,
Yeah.
how sick
Legend.
is Vincent right now?
So sick.
Like, he's always had the best style, but like watching him now on the Cowie and then now in Fox gear,
Yeah.
like no one's seen that change coming. And like the kid has sick style. Like he's going to be a badass.
And people probably wouldn't think this, just my persona in general, but I'm pretty, like, I like to shit talk. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty real with what I see in terms of prospects coming up. And I'll be pretty honest, like, that guy doesn't have it.
Yeah.
That guy's never going to make money doing it.
Yeah,
that guy, dude, you should just go to college. Like, college.
Yeah,
what are you even doing?
Like, quit wasting your
that's
time.
the way that I talk behind the scenes. It's nothing personal, but I've never, of course, Vincent, I've known him since he was 7 years
Yeah,
old, a tiny kid.
I would see him at the test
right?
track with you guys
But
all the
still,
time.
even coming through the last few years, I know that he has talent and he's been good on a dirt bike. But until this year, I haven't been able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like him having a good career, like making a lot of money,
Yeah.
racing dirt bikes as a professional. It comes at a different time for everybody. And this is the first year with Vincent where I went
whoa.
to Fox Raceway, watched him practice with Dean Wilson a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, this kid, he's got it now.
It was like
he's
what-
gonna be something.
It was like what Hunter was saying earlier. It's like you can grind as hard as you want, but then when it clicks, it finally clicks. It seems like it's finally clicking with Vincent. And it's cool. Like his dad was always one of my favorite racers.
Oh,
like
Nick
Nick's
is the
always been
man.
like
You can't
one of
not
the
like that
funniest
guy.
dudes. Like he's just a good dude.
Yeah,
Good
he is.
family, his
He
wife,
is.
his
Talk about
kids.
some
Like
personality, man.
yeah, like he was. I feel like early on he was like one of the first dudes in Supercross that actually had a personality and would
Yeah.
like talk shit to people and
Yeah.
have fun, like always laughing. And it's cool to see how much work he's put into his kids and just
Dude,
like
he's done a great job.
yeah, when you worked out hard, you're bound for greatness, you know?
100%. I
Dude,
couldn't
how
agree
about
more.
Cole
Great
Davies,
family.
by the way. In
Yeah.
the Loops?
Davies,
Dave,
it's
there's a
nuts.
A real
lot
pleasure
of
to
kids that are
watch.
ripping right now.
And
dude.
you notice Davies' attitude this year compared to like last year, he's all wearing a sombrero, all goofy and having a good time. And now he's like super locked in. He's got no time for anything but winning.
I feel like
The Deegan effect, dude.
I just feel like when you know you can win,
It's
and,
a different
and
kind
things
of
are
pressure.
happening where you're not winning.
Yeah.
You're pissed off till you get
Oh,
that win
yeah.
because you know where you should be.
Yeah.
You know where you stack up.
Absolutely.
Like, and coming into this year, everyone's like, "Oh, Davies is gonna win the championship." Like leaving last year, dude, he was riding so fucking good.
He's already great at Supercross, but like his starting point may be the most complete rider
100%.
we've seen from the first gate drop.
Yeah.
In Supercross. So he has the potential I haven't seen it outdoors.
Yeah,
But he has the potential in Supercross to be up there with Jett and Hunter and Eli and all those guys.
He seems like he
that
put on a
good.
little weight this
He's
year.
that
Like he's
good.
looking bigger now.
Yeah.
Like he's like super.
He got a little
yoked.
taller.
Yeah, you know, and it's like watching him ride. It's crazy because he's so smooth. Like I love watching him ride too. Like I was watching his line through the whoops at Indy where he's like literally centimeters from the hay bales. Like I'm
And,
like, you
you
gotta
know,
go where you gotta go.
So much of how much success you can have in dirt bike racing has nothing to do with talent. It has everything to do with like who you are and your mindset in general. And I think all the best guys in racing have kept it simple and not been like, I was an overthinker when I was racing. It held me back. Like someone like a Davies, Jett, these guys, they're smart in the ways they need to be smart. And then they let the rest go. And that's
Yeah.
what Davies has. That's the template that he has. And I think he's
To
he's gonna
me,
be fine.
Davies kind of looks like Jett. Like their riding style to me looks
To the
really,
Very
looks
neutral.
really similar. Yeah,
roll speed.
You know, it's kind of like I would think of Jett as like a mix of like the Carmichael grind with like the Porcel
Finesse,
like
yeah.
finesse. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the perfect storm. Perfect
Purcell was
mixture.
sick
So
on a
efficient.
250,
Yeah,
dude.
and just how like Porcel was like doing it before the level has gotten to where it is
Yeah.
now. But Jett is just like, I mean, Davies too on a 250. Watching him in Supercross, haven't seen him outdoors like you said.
Yeah.
But like watching Jett do the things that he does, it's like as a fan and as a rider, like I can watch it and it's like easy on the eyes, and there's something to be said about watching a master at their craft, and it's a real pleasure.
Well, I can't watch Jett too much these days because he makes me want to come back and race.
I'm
like, dude, I look at that. I'm like, I can do that. That looks easy.
And then you think about racing Indy again. And
that's what's crazy to me about watching Jett is the way that if you were to bring a casual or somebody that's never seen a dirt bike before in their life and bring them to a race and watch Jett, they're going to have no idea how difficult it is. No idea. They're going to think that they could do it.
Sauce.
They're going to think they could do it.
Yeah. It's effortless.
Yeah. Listen, this was an amazing podcast. We could probably sit here all day and do this. But I appreciate you coming. I appreciate the breakdown.
Thank you guys. I appreciate
it. I was telling Twitch, I mean, your insight and everything and you being at these races and doing what you do, definitely want to start doing where we break down the races a little bit more. Our biggest podcast and some of the biggest things that we've done for the MMA community is doing the recaps. And we bring in like TJ Dillashaw, Khalil Roundtree. We always have a Michael Bisbing, and they're like the analysts for Paramount. Yeah, and it's cool because we give the audience a breakdown, and we sit in here and we watch all the fights. And that's something for the audience that we want to start doing with Bierman and Twitch, where it's like Mondays we come in and we break down the races and talk about what's going on in the world. I feel like it's cool for the moto world. It's also, we build a bunch of shorts and content. So I feel like we add to the community. And it's honestly something like if we could just FaceTime these guys and bring them in, I think it'll be something exciting and having guys help us break it down. So appreciate you coming. Appreciate golf. Appreciate you coming out. Bierman, you're a legend. Hopefully we'll work on your swing a little bit.
Hey, we got a lot of work to do. How much time you really got?
You were ripping the last few holes.
Hey, after you guys left, you started playing so much better.
Yeah, you really got to get size.
You're bringing the vibe down, apparently.
Yeah,
he found
you were ruining
the
vibe.
problem is I think my drive scares a lot of people.
Yeah,
and the problem with that, it's
scary if the club comes out of your hands because it's hitting one of us in your backswing with how quick it is.
You're flexing those calves on us, dude.
Brother, I understand as you get older, you lose some of your muscle mass, so it's harder. So you have to have better.
That's why you get graphite shafts.
Yeah. I understand what you're doing. Your shaft is custom. Your bag is custom. I wouldn't be surprised if everything about your game is custom, including you dropping balls on the way to the hole. And I saw that. But we're not going to talk about that. What I do
when I lost it. You should see my counting.
This motherfucker lost a ball and writes a par down on the scorecard.
Yeah, you do a lot of ball drop. I saw you go through a box of Pro V once. I don't want to even hear from you. I think you guys left about 25 balls.
I saw you go through a box of Pro Vs on one hole.
Brother, no one's denying that.
Okay.
No one's denying that. No one would ever deny that fact.
I think I lost more balls than he shot a score of 18.
I do want to point out one thing, and I hate to do this because he's not in the room to defend himself. It's amazing to me how Jett wanted to leave after he started playing bad. Before he was playing good, he's like, oh, this is an amazing day. That's how competitive
this guy is. It's a 9-hole guy.
It's a 9-hole guy.
Yeah.
We'll give him a pass, dude. He's still in recovery with a broken ankle right now.
Playing with the boot on.
That's crazy,
I wish that I can only picture that swing one time.
He's got
a moon boot on.
He really does. He's got a great swing.
Even with the
looks like
boot
Adam
on.
Scott.
If people want to see the real Jett Lawrence playing golf, he has an amazing show. He did an episode with Ryan Sheckler. He like kind of just follows, the entire day on a golf course on the cart and talks to the guy. So if you guys want to go see that, we'll link that in the description. Also, you have an amazing podcast. We'll link that into the description. DBK.
Every Monday, right?
Yeah, we drop every Tuesday afternoon.
Every Tuesday, yeah.
ACJB
break
show.
Down
the races and stuff.
Yeah, we really,
It's amazing. I actually watch it.
It's good.
I think you do a great job.
Yeah, me and JB. JB is awesome.
Yeah, it's
my
so
co-host.
good.
You guys got a good combo going on right now.
Yeah, he's the man.
Because you guys go back and forth really good.
Bierman's working on a new Super Bowl halftime show commercial with Apple, so that'll be coming out during the next Super Bowl. It's going to be amazing.
I was really hoping we were getting a Super Bowl commercial out of Island Hopper.
Yeah, the Island Hopper is all time.
You never know, dude.
Never know.
It's amazing. And then
Super
we got
Bowl's
the brand new
over,
watch
so
dropping for
I do
Twitch
know.
this summer, which is going to be epic. It's going to launch at our Victoria Gardens store for Jaxxon, our first ever flagship. Also, thank you guys for coming to the grand opening. 500, 600 people waiting in line. It wrapped around the mall. They almost shut down the store.
I need a new chain, dude. I need a chain for my cross, dude.
We got you all new chains. They'll be in the room right now. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you leave a comment, subscribe. Let us know who you guys want as the next guest. We're out.